everyone, welcome to Griffin, Indiana. Steel Horse here. We're back with Kevin and Jocelyn. We've rolled into May and it's time to get some soybeans in our... Whoops, it'd be a good idea if we put some soybeans actually in the device. But we need some soybeans in the two fields that are currently without crops, so that's the number one activity for the day. And Kevin's pretty keen to actually just see if this tractor, the electric Rigitrack, will do the job. So let's pop some of that in there. Can we open a... Let's put some fertilizer in as we go, and we'll just see how that goes. Certainly the Rigitrack's got no problems pulling it. We've got soybeans set as the crop, so we'll run down to Woody End and so that being the smaller field shouldn't take too long to get that. It's still a reasonable size, so we'll work our way through it. There's quite a few chores on the list today. I want to top up the water around the place. Ideally, I've got to go down the store. He's made a decision on the approach for the harvester, so he wants to place an order so that that'll be delivered in time and ready to go. But let's run around the... Let's turn you on. Oops, that wasn't what I intended, but turn you off for a second. Put you down, and away we go. Yeah, so he wants to head down the store and place that order. We also need a roller, so ideally like to get a roller sorted out so that we can roll these two fields. We haven't been doing that, and he's keen to times come. It's been waiting for a second-hand telehandler to come up, but nothing's been forthcoming. And with those bales left on the field, he kind of manhandled a few off last time, but the meadow needs to be relieved of bales, and he did finish the baling at the end of the last episode. Just put that back and grab that corner there. Can we straighten you up? Yeah, Chief. Better. He did finish baling that at the end of the last episode, and he made a decision actually to do the last sort of third of it or so. He kind of totted up the number of bales that were there and decided there was easily enough hay to cover us for the coming year, which was the plan, and therefore he baled a few grass bales, which are just easy to throw on the trailer and take and put into the silo to ferment into silage, so we'll get that going after we put a worker on the seeding. So upshot of all of that is a telehandler is required, along with an adapter to make use of the front loader tools that we got. I think a telehandler is more useful in the farm than not, so that's the plan. But interestingly, this little electric's doing a terrific job here of pulling this seeder, so this will work out quite nicely, I think. And as indicated, this isn't a particularly large field, so it's a good top-up crop, even if we are using a few more seed than we anticipated. I'm not convinced we're putting any fertilizer on. Which could be because we don't have sensors on this tractor, but it certainly doesn't look like we're adding fertilizer. Crop does not require additional fertilizer. Okay, that's the reason. We've already got plenty of nitrogen for the soybeans, so that's good to know. The other thing that we'll do when we get back to the yard through the course of the day is add top up the little seed factory, because there's we want to make sure that we've finished turning all of our, or most of our wheat into seed, because we'll get another crop off next month. So we either convert it to seed, which is the main thing, or we hold it to sell towards the end of the year with the next crop. So I think we'll convert it, and that way then our seed stocks, we can make a judgment about how much of the new crop we actually need to do anything with. So that's the plan. We can also fire up the fertilizer production just in case we need any more of that, or we've got any more contract opportunities that we can fill in with. I'm sure there'll be some folks in this area putting corn in the ground that will require fertilizing, so there should be some more fertilizing contracts come up. We'll check back in when Kevin finishes getting this field all seeded. There we go. Apart from just a couple of little spots to touch up, we pretty much done with this field, so it didn't to take long at all, and we can get on over. We'll top up the seed and head across to the other field. Our Angus doing fine. Those were the calves we bought the other month, so they're looking pretty good in their pasture there. Before the harvest in June, Kevin's plan is to buy another 30 calves. This time though, split between Angus and milk cows, so 12 more milk cows and 18 Angus, and he'll distribute the new Angus calves around the paddocks. Also, they'll be funded by the sale of the oldest 6 Angus that are in the home pasture over there. They're fetching up almost 3,000, so it's a good opportunity to just start the process of collecting on the investment that's been made in rearing those. Oops. Turn the steering wheel the correct way and the trailer will go in the correct direction. Not quite under the spout. There we go, just top that off. So based on the low fertilisation levels, we did add a little bit to that field. I don't think we'll worry about fertiliser for now. We'll spread fertiliser when we're done, or when the crop comes out of the ground. So now we'll just concentrate on getting the seed in. In a quiet moment, Kevin went ahead and just framed out this field properly as the twilight field. So it's now set to pick everything up correctly. And the course we want 5.3 meters. Number of headlands, we'll do 3. We'll start in the center. Sharp corners, 5% overlap. Generate the course, that'll do. Start there. And the start point is on the other side of the field, so he can go over and get that underway. Meanwhile, we'll head on down the shop and see if we can pick ourselves up some equipment. So Kevin's been talking to the bank manager and the dealership. The dealership's been selling hard once they found out that Kevin was interested in a purchase, and he's been doing his research and thinks he's come up with a plan that's going to kind of work all ways around, so that he's pretty keen on the John Deere gear, and the question really boiled down to, does he buy the top of the line with most of the bells and whistles, which would be the X9 1100, or does he get a couple of the smaller STS 70s? There's no question that the capital cost of the STS would be a little cheaper, in the order of 100,000, keeping in mind you've still got to put headers on both of them, so you duplicate the header costs. And where he kind of fell down on it, it's more equipment to manage, it's more more labor to run and operate, potentially needs a few potentially another truck in order to keep the delivery or the unloading working. So he's kind of thinking that in terms of his idea of getting more of the contract strand here done, that would be better suited to a gaggle of smaller fields, whereas here he thinks that taking fewer contracts but with a single harvester is going to be the way to go. So whether or not he's right, who knows. But let's go and let's jump into the store and see what's what. Yeah, so in terms of outright cost, the machine he's looking at is this X9 with a large tank on it, so 19,000 litres. The US configuration, of course, no stickers. The premium lights and radio, the rear hitch, and the long foldable pipe, the wider rear axis, and GPS. So it comes in at around about just over 600,000, and by the time you add another 100,000 for the header, interestingly, if you leased that, part of his consideration was that leasing it at first kind of looks attractive at $30,000 until you realize that we're probably going to have it for at least 3 work days and do at least 5 hours work, which then adds another 75,000 to the cost. So that's where he sort of landed back down on. It's a better proposition just to buy it and be done with it. And it's not that much more expensive than getting the 2 machines you would be looking at. So that's the machine that he's going to order, and it should be here in a month or so, all set and ready to go. The bank is on board, provided he does 2 things. He can demonstrate the ability in this period to get the necessary contracts, and he signs up to an extra percentage point, so up to 9% on the loan, which will jump up to 1.5 million. So that'll hurt a little bit, but then there's the incentive to start to pay back some of that loan as we move through the season. So it really becomes just a bit of a battle to see how much work we can get done and how busy we can keep this harvester through the harvest season. Let's have a look while we're here at what's on sale. So really nothing that we're looking for, unfortunately. So we won't worry about anything there. Now, if we come into... He's been quite impressed. So we're looking at telehandlers. He quite likes the Liebherr, which is a strong contender, but he's also, and to this end, Jocelyn's sort of in his ear, he has been pleasantly surprised how the Rigitrack has gone. And so, given that we're still looking ideally for a second-hand one and we're only going to lease at this stage, he's thinking that the go here is to, and we'll go with just the standard out of the box, is to lease the Farrison. it'll be 1,000 a day. We'll work it through the summer and see how it goes. It's not going to have that many hours of work, so we'll take the punt and experiment. If we find that it's not satisfactory, then or a better option pops up secondhand in the sales, we'll go for it. So that's his plan. And we do already have the charging point back at the farm, so that kind of helps too. And the other thing, it's not very quick, but with what we're planning to use it for, that shouldn't be an issue. And the other thing that we need while we're here is a set of rollers. So similarly, nothing's come up for sale. We don't have the horsepower really for the 24 meter rollers, so we're probably at the 12, and that will do us quite nicely, but we'll lease this as well again just in case something comes up. So 2,000 to get that one sorted out. Let's see how much of this will we get. Both of these on the trailer is the question. Let's put the ramps down. Just pull you in a little further through the doorway. I don't know if the telehandler will tow this up onto the ramp or not. We'll just see. Certainly wouldn't expect it to reverse it up there. Maybe it will. And up we go. Let's try it and get it squared up. It might give us more of a chance. It's a little better. Let's put the boom up and see if we can get you further forward. Let's put those rear ramps up. Strap you all down. And that should do the trick. We'll drop the roller off at the field on the way past and then head over and pick up a few of those grass bales. That reminds me, how often is that the case? You get out of the parking lot and you suddenly realise there was one more thing you needed to buy. So we'll just cut through here and do a bit of a loop. So we need an adapter for we've got all of the front loader tools we could ever need, but we need an adapter to fit the telehandler to do the conversion. So let's just hop back and grab one of those. And telehandler tools and CSZ make a pretty handy little adapter for all occasions. Somewhere up the end here we need new telehandler to front loader tool. That's the one we want. We will buy that because regardless of what telehandler we use, we'll need one of those. And hopefully it's not ridiculously heavy. You can just make that on the edge of the trailer there. Tie you down. And now we can head back and drop this off. Just put down the ramp, undo the straps, and around we go. We'll move this adapter out of the way here so that we can pop it on before we leave. That ended up being quite capable of pulling that around for us. Let's pop you up here. We can go up and get the tractor shortly. Back up on the ramp. Need to stop in the yard and grab a bale spike. Let's see, where's that bale spike? Oh, I think hiding down the bottom there's the one we want to use. That's it. Here I've left the telehandler in reverse, so we'll have some reversing beacons there, but our feeding's progressing nicely. Be getting a bit low on seed, I'm sure. So as you can see, plenty of bales here, so we'll run around and get a few of those sorted. And the darker ones here should be grass, I'm thinking. There we go. Not quite. There we go. From the fact that I can't judge the depths with the bale spike, which has nothing to do with the device, certainly seems to do the trick. It's quite maneuverable. Plenty of get up and go. And handily. Having our auto load trailer We got a helper that helps us stack them on the trailer. So yes, I could drive around and it would auto pick them up off the ground, but I think it's important for some sense of realism in our story that we've got all the right gear and we are broadly doing the work. Kevin will keep doing this until we need to go and put some SiiD in the seeder, which won't be too far away, I wouldn't have thought. But whilst we're not going to break any land speed records, this machine, it is pretty much doing what we want. So far so good. Could potentially put a weight on a smallish weight on the back of it. It will tow. We've demonstrated, albeit not very fast, so it can move equipment around in the yard. Let's just see how much is in that. We can check on all that cows of that. Home pasture is doing fairly well. These are the ones that are almost at their top price, so we'll probably sell those in the next game day or two. Milk cows are doing fine. We can sell the milk next time. We know we can do that as an auto run course, and this is the pasture we've just put some hay in, so it'll take another one. And Woody Ends, being only young calves, hasn't eaten much at all, so we could do this is do with the top up of milk so we don't forget about it during the busy harvest period. Let's go get up. Is this a hay bale, or it looks dark enough to be a grass bale? It is. There's another one I can spy over there. There's 4 down there. There's 8. Either way, I end up with an odd one. And there's the signal from the seeder. It needs to be done, so we'll go and do that. Take the opportunity to take the baler back and bring the SiiD tender back. On the little John Deere. And 919 seeds in here is not going to be litres of seed in here is not going to be enough. So let's open you up. See how much we've got left in here. Pretty much enough to fill the back compartment. It won't let me put any in the front for some reason. Bit of an oddity. That will be enough to finish the field for sure. Yep. There we go. Just a fraction further forward. Nice and easy. Now while we're here, we put course play back on. We want the nearest waypoint. We also want to make sure that we turn off fertiliser because it probably will run out. It hasn't been using very much, so we'll turn it off anyway. And away you go. Can put you back on the side. So that's all the grass picked up. What we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14 it looks like hay bales on here at 4,500. So about 60 odd thousand litres, a little over 60,000 litres of hay here, plus whatever's in the that we'd already put in the shed. So that, I think, combined with what's still in the silo, will, in Kevin's right, will be enough for the coming year. It doesn't matter that this one can go back in the silo. We've got plenty that's baled up and loose, which was the objective. No, sorry, baled up and easy to handle, so that just makes it easier to make the mix and feed the home pasture animals, and then we can shift loose around for the troughs that are out at Woody End and over at the end of the Button Meadow there. So this is just a quick way to get it off the field too. And as usual, I've parked that trailer in an inconvenient spot. This one can sit here, just out of the way. I'll need you in a minute. You can go and fill up with juice while we're waiting. Never hurts to have a full tank. He's going to unload off here, or they need to be... Oh, we'll wait till we bring the loader back. If it won't take them directly off the trailer, that's okay. Let's go and get that rolling done. Right, shiny blue roller. You down. And across we go. Kicks up a bit of dust. Pretty much see where we're going there. That corner on the way out. So Kevin's quite excited now, having placed his order for the harvester. Now it's just got to arrive. And we'll see how we go getting the crop in. There is the potential too, if we were able to pick up another couple of contracts just before the harvest, we might be able to buy the header outright without needing the extra loan, or as much extra loan, so giving us some cash for flexibility if the right piece of equipment still comes up in sale, for instance. Just have to wait and see. We have to keep a close eye on cash flow. That'll be quite a significant interest payment every month on $1.5 million. But the sheep at the spinnery are starting to produce a little more wool, which in turn makes a bit more fabric. And whilst we only got one pallet in the year just gone, if we got 4 or 5, that'd be another $30,000 to $40,000 that would be able to be paid straight off the loan come next April when the fabric prices peak. Also, the rationale behind getting some extra milk cows is that's proving a nice little income stream now. Oops, missed the corner there. Couldn't judge. Just trying to keep the roller down. But yes, if we could increase our milk herd to the point where a substantial portion of the interest payment was covered by the milk income each month, that'd be a pretty handy position to reach. And then as the Angus age, selling them down, it could be used to pay off the principal. So as would income from these crops. So, you know, the soybeans should generate a handy little income. The main thing we're looking to understand is what is the yield. We know we've got 100,000 litres of corn off the twilight field when we had corn in it. So the question is, how many litres of soybeans, given they are worth quite a bit more than corn? So this job's almost done. We'll head over to the twilight field. Twilight field is where we're going next. Just that little bit there. And then that little bit round there, I think. Looks pretty good. One more headland to go. And just a little strip there that he's missed. Is it 2 headlands? 1 looks like it. So we might leave him to do that and run and do a load of water. We've ticked off pretty much all of the chores. Certainly the big job was making sure we got that field seeded. So now very much the second half of May is just about tidying up and getting ourselves ready for harvest. So if we put, let's put 16,000 in here, I think. That should be plenty. That'll do. 15,994. That's kind of close enough. Back that out of there without getting ourselves bogged. Just run across the meadow and drop this in the trough on the other side there. I think it was about 5,000 we needed out of here. Took a little more, but that's okay. Now we'll do the factory and then the home pasture. Yeah, only needed a couple in there. And that's the last one filled. We had 1,500 litres left, so we'll hold on to that for the moment. We'll duck down to Woody End later on. Let's go and see where the seeding's finished up. So our seeder operators decided to call it quits. We've got just that little stripe over there that we might go and tidy up. But by and large, it looks like I did that not. That's better. Pop that down. Doesn't look like there's any more being missed. We'll just do a quick run up the other end to make sure. But it's looking pretty good. Our little electric tractor has done a terrific job on the seeding, and so far our in eco-friendly purchase or leasing of the telehandler looks like it'll work out okay for what we need at the moment, at least in terms of a yard vehicle. So it'd be no use if you were doing, you know, a lot of work on big fields, as we found towards the end of loading those bales. It's a bit slow up and down the field, but for the most part it would do really well. So my plan here is to just tootle around the field. We'll put a headland around, and which will create plenty of room then to turn, and then just set a regular worker on the middle of the field, and this job will be done comfortably this evening. But for now, I might bid everyone adieu. We are racing towards harvest season, so thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time we're at Griffin, Indiana. Thanks for watching. See ya.